The next interesting, very useful command is called distinct. Right? I'll explain what it means. Dis- Distinct. Right? So imagine the task. Okay, we should always go back to the task that we want to solve. Imagine if a task is to find all the distinct genres, right? So we have this table called movies underscore genres, which has basically two columns. We have the ID of the movie and the genre of the movie, right? Genres can be things like horror, things like comedy, right? Things like comedy. All these are genres of the movies, right? If I want to find all the distinct genres into which all of my movies fall, how do I obtain that data? If I just say, so here is a problem, right? If I just said, okay, let me just type it. So select genre from movies underscore genres. Okay, if I press this, right, what it will return me? It will return me a huge table where each row corresponds to a unique movie ID, right? So here, what am I getting here? I'm getting my result set or my output here contains, let's say, drama. Drama is a genre, right? The drama gets repeated many times. Here. The drama is repeated because there will be a movie ID here. There will be a movie ID, right? With drama as a genre. There will be another movie ID with drama as a genre, so on and so forth. But from this set, where there is a lot of repetitions of the genre, if I want to find distinct values, how do I find? You got my point, right? This is a very, very useful case. If you want to understand why this is useful, let's take an example, right? Imagine this is our web app or website or mobile app, right? If I want to create a filter here by saying, by listing all the genres like horror, right? Horror, right? Drama, right? Comedy, right? So on and so forth. And a person can tick any one of them, right? And obtain all the, and list all the movies. Here, what you get is basically a list of all the movies that fall in this genre. And you'll see such a pattern in many, many websites. For example, let me show you a real world example. Okay, again, we are back on our Amazon search page where I'm searching for t shirts. When I'm searching for t shirts, if you notice, all the sizes, right? I want all these size information. If I want a size t shirt which is of size L, if I just press on L, I would get my search will return me all the t shirts of size L, right? Similarly, if I want material, right? So here, these are all the distinct materials that my t-shirts fall into, right? When I'm searching for things, I might want to apply these filters. This is like a filter, right? I could say I want a cotton t-shirt or a denim t-shirt or a fleece or a linen or a silk or a wool, right? So these types of filters are very, very common. Now, to obtain the list of all the filters that can be present, right, that's an important use case, right, for to find the distinct values. Similarly, in our movies example, right, if I'm building a web app like this where I want a filter here, right, of the genre, so I can just say genre, and you have all of these values like horror, drama, comedy, etc. And if you click on any one of them, you list all the movies that belong to this. Now, to populate this, right, to populate this list, you need distinct or unique, you need unique values or distinct values of the column genre in the table, right? And it's a valid use case. Now, how do we obtain it? So let's see the simple command for it, right? Okay. So, okay, this is the command for it. All that it's saying here is that you want to select or you want to pick those columns. What is the table that we are doing it from? The table name is movies underscore genres. This is the name of the table. Here I'm saying I want to pick the column genre, but I want only distinct values. This is the keyword. This is the keyword in SQL. So the moment you say select distinct genre, here what am I saying? I don't want to just select genre from movies underscore genres. I want to select distinct genres. The moment you say this, you will get just a list of the distinct values that are present in the genre column. So this is the column name. This is the column name in your table, right? So let's execute this and see what happens, right? So let's go and click enter. Okay, these are all the genres that you have in your whole movies underscore genres. You have documentaries, you have short films, comedy, crime, western, family, animation, so on and so forth. There are 21 distinct values. Now you can put a filter, right? You can easily place a filter just like the way we saw on Amazon.in page, right? Here you have materials here, right? Similarly, we can have genres. Very, very simple example, but very, very powerful nonetheless, right? So this is the power and usage of distinct keyword. Having said that, there is also an interesting twist to this. For example, okay, suppose instead of wanting to find distinct based on only one field, if I want to find distinct based on multiple fields, right? So here, look at this command. So I'm taking this table called directors. This is my table name. These are my columns. These are my column names. But what I have here, the distinct, is across two columns here. The distinct is not just on the first name. The distinct is on both first name and last name. Right? Very simple. So you can apply distinct on one column or one column in the table or multiple columns in the table. So when you execute this query, okay, let me just modify it slightly. Okay. So what am I doing here? Order by first name. So what am I saying here in a nutshell? In a nutshell, what I'm saying here is, I want to select distinct first names and last names from my table called directors, but I want everything to be ordered by first name, alphabetically ordered by first name, right? Now let's see the result here. This is very important and very interesting result to observe. Okay, let's execute this, right? Now look at the result that you got here. Now if you see, this is the first name, right? And this is the corresponding last name. This is the first name and this is the corresponding last name. If you see this first name, Zwonko, right? If you see this first name, Zwonko, it is repeated twice. Even though we used distinct, it is repeated twice. The reason it is repeated twice is because the last name, in this case COH, in this case Succeeda, the last name is different here. Because our command that we have used here, look at this, look at the command that we used here. We said that we want to find distinct both first name and last name. Only if the first name and last name are distinct, right? So that's why, because the distinct is there for all the columns that you have here, right? That's why you'll see repetition. There could be two people who have the same first name, right? Let's assume the first name is F1, the first name is F1. The last name could be different. These are considered as two distinct rows now, because the distinct is applied on both these columns. So in the result set or in the output, you can observe rows like this, which you have just seen right now, right? For the Zwonko example, the first name is exactly the same, but the last name changes. And still, this row is considered as a distinct row, because as a row here, this is different from this row. So when you have distinct on multiple columns, one column value can repeat, but not all the columns value. So you will not see F1, L1 repeated again. You will not see this. You will not see a row with F1, L1 because the distinct is on both first name and last name. You have already printed F1, L1 here. You should not print F1, L1 again, right? So that's an interesting use case, and that's a neat nuance or detail about the keyword distinct in SQL. Very useful keyword. Very, very useful keyword. But distinct can be applied just on single column or on multiple columns.